Here we are. Good evening, everyone. Can everyone
Yes,
can everyone see my screen at this point?
yes, sir, it was visible.
Excellent. So let's end off the day with a really good presentation and show everyone the future of agriculture. All right. In this presentation, I will be showing you what our company has been doing for the last 10 years and the culmination, especially the major advancements that we have made in India and in recent months working with ICAR India to get this technology known and demonstrated within India. So first of all, my name is Francesco Arlia Jr. Please refer to me as Frank, and welcome to the future of sustainable farming. I want you just start off by letting everyone know that the future of sustainable farming is energy. It will all be based on energy. It's not, the chemical era of the last 120 years is coming to an end. We're moving into a new future, and that new future is energy. And this is what the future students are going to be learning, when they go to university. They're going to be learning about the energy and the physics of working with agriculture. So I'm going to show you some of that within this presentation. First of all, I think it's important that you understand the pledge of our company, right? Our mission is to create together with the agricultural industry a civilization with productive and economic growth that reduces poverty, hunger, and climate change and reverts the ecological damage to our water and land. We pledge our commitment to do our best to advance the health and well-being of all mankind and bring about a future where sustainable environments are a fact of life and healthy food and water are available for us all. Now, I'm sure you would all agree that in India, just like in the United States, we all want healthy food and water. And this is not something that is uncommon, as I've been dealing with close to 48 governments at this point around the world, and they all are looking for the same thing: healthy food and water. So let me give you some statistics of our company so you have a little understanding of who we are. Okay, we have about this number has grown since my last presentation because these numbers, they grow every single week. But we have 609 cumulative global installations, 17,197 cumulative acres being serviced. Active countries are 52. We have, 219 trials in negotiation. Let me actually give you the updated statistics as of yesterday, okay? Because I think it's important that you understand how fast we're growing as an organization and how important it is that we continue to get this technology out to every country in the world, which is our number one target right now. So as of yesterday, we have, you see it says here, 219 scientific trials in negotiation. Well, as of right now, it's 280, okay? And as of yesterday. And then here we have scientific trials in progress. We have 22. And the reason why we have 22 is because 8 of these trials have completed. And trials completed was 28, and now it's up to 40. So we have 40 completed trials just in the last, I'm going to say 3 months that these numbers have grown. Okay. We have our sales to date. That number has also changed. Our average yield increase per farm 47%. I don't know any other company, technology, or product that can say that about their technology. That's the average yield per farm globally across the planet. So many farms have done more and many farms have done less. Okay? Let's see. Number of product refunds, 0. We're proud of that. These, you can't really read these, but these 3 letters that you see here are official government invitations. We've been invited to to visit 3 countries from the top government officials. One of them here is from the vice president and the minister of agriculture of the country of Gambia. We did go to visit that country, and we have trials going on with them now, and they're very hopeful that they want to see the success of these trials so that they could install the technology on 5,000 government farms throughout the entire country. The other 2 countries have extremely they have some heavy visa and special requirements in order to enter the country, so we have not visited them there yet. But we have the invitations. Actually, one of these countries is Guinea in Africa, and rather than us going to Guinea, they came to meet with us in Maryland, the United States, and we had a good meeting there. So we started the progress of opening up a company in Guinea and starting to work with the government there. That's just an overview of what we have been doing. We haven't even gotten to me telling you about our technology and how phenomenal it is and how different it is from anything that anybody's ever seen. So, with over 10 years of international agricultural research, we discovered 20 most common challenges faced by farmers. These challenges are known, or they're common all over the world, not just in India, but all over the world. So rising input costs, reduced yields, climate change, drought conditions, government regulation of water, governmental regulation of nitrogen, farmer profitability, post-harvest losses, deteriorating soil health, availability of fertilizer and other inputs. Some countries don't even have that available. Insects and other pests, fungal and disease pressure, seed quality, lack of training and know-how, improper storage of crops, labor costs, water quality, lack of equipment and infrastructure, demand for organic sustainable food, and food security. These are the 20 most common problems that we have discovered speaking with now 48 countries. So, from detailed analysis of these problems, we've isolated the 2 most important root causes, which, if solved, would revert meaning reverse, correct, fix, most, if not all, of other challenges, of all the other challenges, and these 2 problems, that if we correct these 2 problems, we fix most of the 20 other problems, okay, automatically. And that's water pollution and soil destruction. So we're going to get into that. I'm going to explain a little bit about that. So when we talk about water pollution, what you need to know is that water pollution really comes from the fact that 70% of daily water that is used, all the water that's used every single day, 70% of the daily water used is used for agriculture. So just keep that in mind, that all day long, people are using water, but 70% of all the water used in one day is used by one industry, and that's agriculture. Then you have to keep in mind that 95% of conventional agriculture uses toxic chemicals. That's the chemical farming model. So now that you know that, you understand that if 95% of the agricultural industry is using toxic chemicals, and 70% of the water used in the world is used by that industry, it's a simple math equation. It's just mathematics. You multiply the two, and you know that 66% of worldwide water is poisoned daily. So let that sink in for a little bit. Okay? Just think about that. 66% of all the water in the world is being poisoned daily, every single day. And so it kind of explains why we have horrible water all over the planet. Water that's not, it's not drinkable, which is the reason why we drink out of bottles now. At least in the United States, I can tell you that most people drink out of bottles. They buy water. It's not consumed from the household because they don't trust it any longer. And I'm sure this problem is prevalent, meaning easily, visible and, observable in most countries and in India. I will tell you that in India, the sad part is that your very beautiful country, which I had the privilege of visiting this year. I was in Mumbai for the World Agricultural Forum. I was invited to be on. A council member as part of the World Agricultural Forum, and I got to see over a period of a few days that I was there much of the country, from the city to the outer layers of the city to the challenged areas of the city, the less economically strong areas of the city, and some of the most economically viable areas of Bombay. So it was a very interesting visit. It reminded me of my own family's country, Italy, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So I see where the development of India is going, and they're moving very fast. I mean, India is now the number 4 country in the world to make it to the moon. So congratulations. The Indians are extremely smart and extremely resilient. So you have a very fast-growing, intelligent country, and you should be very proud of that. Unfortunately, India, much like the United States, is one of the most poisoned countries because we both, the United States is guilty of this just as much as India, in the sense that we use way too many chemicals. And United States has now reached one of the lowest records of health crisis in the world. And India is the only country in the world that I know of that has a cancer train. So these two countries, India and the United States, have a lot of work to do to clean up the water pollution in their countries, and get the chemicals out of the water, which is also then recycling back into the agriculture and getting back into our plants and getting back into our food. So it's really important that we eliminate, I don't say reduce. Reduce is what I said 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but we're on a collision course with unfortunately with death. So we have to completely eliminate chemicals from our agricultural industry. And that is why we're here. We have the technology to do that. So now you understand how water pollution is the number one reason, that, we need to clean up in order to resolve all the other problems in agriculture. Now, let's talk about soil ecology destruction. What that means exactly is the same chemicals that are poisoning our water are poisoning our lands, and they're killing off our soil microbes. And we actually put together an explainer video. One part of it explains how our technology will revert all of this, but the first 2 parts of the technology were developed by another gentleman who we were blessed to meet and learn about his explainer videos, because he explains perfectly the physiology of the plant and the environment and how they work together, and then how we have destroyed ourselves over the last 120 years with chemical-based agriculture. And then I take over from there with an animation explainer video that explains how we're going to fix all of this. Now, interesting, I wanted to play that for you today, but the explainer video is almost complete. It's not ready yet. It's not to my standard of perfection. So if anyone wants the explainer video and wants to see it, of course, you can always go to our website at harvestharmonics.com, because within the next week to 10 days, it will be there and available for showing. Or you can email us at service@harvestharmonics.com and just ask for the link, to the explainer video, and we will send it to you. And it'll blow your mind. It's a very educational video. And it's all done in animation. Majority of it is animation. And I believe by the time it's done, it's going to be about 10 minutes long, but it's going to be a great 10-minute education. So we're destroying our soil ecology with these chemicals because we're killing off, a large portion, at least 50% of the biomass of microbes is dying off in the soil with each application, which tells you, wow, these microbes, they must be multiplying pretty quickly in order to, keep our soil alive. Well, that was happening years ago, but now our soil is dead. Most farms do not have a live soil. It's not alive. It is being used almost like a medium. You could not legally, technically, and ethically call it soil because it is devoid, meaning without. Devoid means without, missing. It is devoid of the elements that soil actually has, which soil, is loaded with minerals, natural minerals. It's loaded with microbes, which is life forms that keep, it's the basis of all life. So what we're doing is we're replenishing these minerals with chemical minerals, with, we're adding minerals. And some companies and farmers are getting smarter and starting to add biologicals, and some of them are even getting smarter and adding actual microbes that they're purchasing, that people are basically manufacturing these microbes, and some are manufacturing these microbes chemically, which doesn't really make sense, but others are manufacturing these microbes, naturally, and that makes sense. There's a lot of good companies out there that are really doing good work to rebuild our soil and come up with biologicals and composting methods that could really rebuild the soil. And rebuilding the soil is the most important thing that we need to do right now. So these are the two disasters that I can't say anything less about. The disasters that need to be corrected is poisoning our soils and poisoning our water. So how do we fix this? Well, that's what we're going to get into. Okay. The solution is the Kiminasi Plants Crop Booster. All right. So I'm going to read this to you because it's really important. The Kiminasi Plants Crop Booster, we'll refer to it as KPCB, is a revolutionary new technology that improves the health of plants, humans, and the environment. The KPCB technology can be installed on any irrigation system in the world. Our system consists of microdiscs programmed with the specific biophysical signals that a plant and its environment need for optimal operation and maximum biological potential. These biophysical signals reach the plant via water through the irrigation system. The KPCB can be installed on any irrigation system, and I'll repeat that, any irrigation system in the world, anywhere in the world, for any size farming operation. Any size farming operation, no matter how small you are or how large you are. There is no farming operation that we could not service. The KPCB will bring the plants and their environment to their optimal genetic potential naturally, while producing healthier yields for the public and better economics for the farmer. Everyone wins. We've already proven over and over again through our scientific trials that the farmer will make more money using our system and following our protocols, which we show him how to do this, and we can train the farmer pretty easily, how to make more money and become more profitable. So this is the solution. Now, you add to this what everybody else is doing, and you have a very interesting future for the planet, because there are many companies out there with incredible technologies and inputs that are not chemical based that work extremely well with our technology. But our energetic technology signaling system is the future. So here I show you the disc right there, okay, and I give you a little description of it. This is, our product spec sheet. A lot of details, but, I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second. And I'm actually going to show you how small the disc is. That disc, okay, has the same type of power that this disc used to have. I'm sure everybody remembers this disc. This disc is the compact disc. This disc is the Kiminasi disc. So this we would call a CD, and this we would call a KD, okay? Like the letter K, the Kiminasi disc. The Kiminasi disc works the same way as the CD, in the sense the CD is basically, this is worthless. It's just a piece of plastic that holds information, okay? But the information that you put on this disc is the most important thing that you need. Whether it's music, whether it's video, whether it's computer data, you put this into a machine and it gives you back the information that you need. And that's the information that's important to you. This disc is the Kiminasi disc. It works the same way. Information is stored on this disc. 3,000 programs related to quantum physics for agriculture are on this disc. This disc then is attached to a metal pipe. Now, this looks like an ordinary metal pipe, okay? But the reality is this metal pipe is patented and it has a compartment. You can see the compartment there. Let me show you. See that? That compartment. So that compartment opens up, and inside you place the disc, just like you would put it in a machine, okay? But you put it inside a pipe. So you put that inside the compartment, and now the disc would be inside, and when water goes through this pipe, it gets programmed. All the water that goes through this pipe is now programmed with the data that is on this disc. It's that simple. This is how advanced we are. We are so advanced that we're taking agriculture way into the future, 20, 30, 40 years into the future. This technology will be the basis of every university teaching in the next 5 years. We're making sure that every university duplicates this technology, sees it for themselves, and starts setting up their own laboratories so that students, the future students of agriculture, can start learning how this technology works and the benefits of it, and then start developing natural, organic, biomass, biotechnology, bio inputs that will align with this technology to make farming 3, 4, 5 times more viable than what it is today. We actually don't know the power and the potential of plants. We haven't seen the maximum potential of a plant. But when using this technology in soil with natural sunlight, you will start seeing the potential of plants. The problem today is we don't have a lot of soil. Soil that's rich in in natural minerals and microbes. So we have to rebuild that soil. And this technology will actually help us to rebuild that soil by the first step is just removing the chemicals. So we start removing the chemicals slowly but surely, right? Using this technology and decommissioning the chemicals out of the soil, which naturally will get the chemicals out of our water. So we start cleaning up our water and we start cleaning up our soil, and this will all happen over a period of time. Then the soil is rebuilt, and now you'll start seeing the genetic potential of plants, which will be absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to the day that we have corn stalks that produce, 4 or 5 ears per stalk, something that nobody's ever seen before. But it is possible because there are farmers that have accomplished that. So I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. And we're done with the spec sheet. So we have 44, well, now it's 45 documented benefits. These are 45 documented benefits. I'm not going to go through each and every one of them with you. What I am going to show you is that we have benefits in increased germination rate and percentage, faster growth, right? This is all on the growth and development side, what we see with plants. Increased root growth and depth. So any scientist in the world knows that once you start seeing an increase in the root depth and the amount of roots, you already know that that plant is healthier. So that's on the development side. On the plant strength side, right? We've been measuring maximum photosynthesis compared to the control, right? Increased biomass, like our plants, their stems are thicker, their leaves are thicker, they grow larger, right? So there's stem diameter, leaves, branches, increased chlorophyll, like a deep, deep green, Now, what is a measurement for the farmer that technology is actually making the plant stronger? Well, they start seeing reduced flower drops and reduced fruit drop. So that gives them more yield. And we've already demonstrated that's how we actually get more yield. Our plants become so strong that they drop less flowers, which then become fruit. And then they maintain that strength and they drop less fruit, which becomes increased yield. And that's how we get to that 47% average yield increase across the planet. So let's talk about increased defense and resilience. I will explain this the way we explained it in our explainer video, because it sums up all of these benefits. When the plant is so strong, it's strong because it has a higher Brix rating. It has a lot more sugar. All of that sugar gives the plant excess energy. But not only does it give it plant excess energy, it's been proven that when a plant has a Brix level of 5 or lower, that it will be attacked by many different pests and diseases. And as that plant increases its potential strength and Brix level to about 8, it will reduce the amount of pests and attacks from diseases by a significant number, right? Different types of pests and diseases show up at different Brix levels. By the time the plant gets to a Brix level of 10, it's showing very little attack from pests and disease. By the time it gets to 12, there's hardly any pests or diseases that attack those plants. Once it goes above 12 and it starts to approach 13, 14, 15, you do not see any more pests and you do not see any more diseases. The plant is basically so strong that it is completely resistant. But this is something that an entomologist can explain a lot better and more scientifically than myself. My general understanding of this is that there are frequencies, okay? There are communication waves between the plant and the pests that indicate from the plant to the pests that I'm weak and I'm dying. So please come and eat me and get rid of me, because the pests and the disease are part of nature's cleanup crew. Decompose the plant, eat the plant, and turn it into compost. That is the way nature works naturally. When the plant is really strong, it sends out a different frequency, and the pest and disease will react to that frequency, saying, okay, this plant is really strong. We can avoid it. We can leave it alone. And so by using our technology and getting plants stronger and stronger and closer to their genetic optimum, the pests and diseases will go away, and they will start to attack other plants, that are weaker in other areas. And so this is how we get the farmer to save money on pesticides, herbicides, and all these other things that he's spending all kinds of ridiculous money on, by just getting him to re-energize his environment, the soil, and the plants. And we have the technology to do it now. So then we go into fruit quality. Everything that I just explained will increase, obviously, the results of the fruit quality. We won't get into the details of that, and I have already explained how all of this helps to reduce the costs of inputs: water, fertilizer, pesticides, herbicides, and actually reduces weeds. Then we have production. This is something that I've already mentioned. Increased number of flowers and fruits per plant, increased yields, documented by our case studies. By the way, I'll mention this now, and I'll mention it again towards the end, that attached to this presentation is about 80 to 100 case studies, scientific studies around the world, and case studies, farmer case studies around the world. We will provide it to anyone that wants this presentation so they could read it themselves and go through all this material themselves. And anyone that wants it just has to send an email to service@harvestharmonics.com. That's HARVESTHARMONICS.com. Harvestharmonics.com. Just send us an email at service@harvestharmonics.com and just ask for the presentation, ask for the explainer video, ask anything that you want, and we'll gladly send it to you. Okay? If you want to see all of our scientific studies that have been published, we'll send it to you. We'll send you the links to everything. Okay? Greater seed production, we've seen that. Increased crop weight, we've seen that. All right? Then we get into the sustainability benefits. Before I continue, I just want to check the chat here and see if there's the information was posted, how you can get the data from us. Great. All right. Environmental improvements. So the reason why we developed this technology is for this very reason: to bring the health back to the environment, bring the health back to the soil, because by doing that, we're going to clean up the water naturally, and we're going to bring health back to, you guessed it, mankind. Okay? This technology was developed by a medical specialist, was not developed by a specialist in agriculture. It was developed by a medical researcher. His name is Mr. Fulvio Balmelli. He was nominated last year for the Nobel Peace Prize. He was also nominated to receive the Researcher of the 2024 Researcher of the Year Award, and he won that award. And he did not win the Nobel Peace Prize award. It was actually awarded to scientists out of Japan who developed a system to naturally, or a safe system for decommissioning all of the nuclear warheads on planet Earth, which is phenomenal. That's a phenomenal technology, and we need that because we don't need nuclear warheads on this planet. We can survive really well without having a nuclear war. So he figured out how to get this technology to every country so they can decommission all of their nuclear warheads and not even consider a nuclear war. So that's who won the Nobel Peace Prize, and we're very proud of him. We actually wrote to him to congratulate him. So let's talk about, how this technology actually works. When a farmer prepares the land for planting, carbon and nitrogen get released into the atmosphere as greenhouse gases. Okay? Here's just a little picture of that happens. They're preparing the land. They're basically cultivating the land and preparing it for farming. But by doing that, they're disturbing the land, and so carbon and nitrogen get released into the air. All right. The actual process is explained in detail in our explainer video, but you get the general concept. Now we have more carbon and more nitrogen in the air, and that's what heats up the air, and that's what's creating the problem of climate change. So then we plant our seeds, right? And using the crop booster, the microorganisms in the soil can pull CO2 and nitrogen out of the air and into the soil. So just to demonstrate that, we start watering with our technology. And as the plants grow, okay, because the plants have to grow. Without the plants, this doesn't work. So once the plants start to germinate, now this process of photosynthesis starts. And what happens is our technology is helping the plant to boost its level of photosynthesis. And as the plant grows, it now increases its Brix level, increases the sugar that it has. That sugar is then exchanged with the microbes in the soil, and the microbes in the soil, start to expand and start to multiply. Okay? Then these microbes will go out and they will start pulling down into the soil carbon and nitrogen and creating a natural fertilizer. Okay? And as the plant continues to grow and expand its root system, now there's going to be an expansion of the microbial population within the soil, and the plants are going to keep pulling nitrogen, through the microbes. They're going to keep pulling nitrogen and carbon out of the air and back into the soil. And once there's an abundance of nitrogen and carbon in the soil that is expanding on its interaction with microbes, so the soil is actually becoming more and more soil based and less, dead soil. It's actually becoming live soil. When that happens, then you'll start seeing other plants and grasses growing, and this will then add, because the grass, what does the grass do? It will pull down nitrogen, and carbon out of the air, and also expand its root system. And this system is the way we had natural agriculture, over 100 years ago. We had so much enriched soil that we could grow anything anywhere, which is not what we can do today. So that's how we revert the problem. And then I'll leave you off with knowing that our company is one of the only companies in the world that aligns with all 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And we explain directly and indirectly how we do that. It's all in this presentation. Again, I will email this presentation. My staff will send it to anyone that sends a request at service@harvestharmonics.com. And then we get into how we do this in the presentation, which I won't get into the details. I will just tell you that the rest of this presentation is all of our case studies all over the world, showing different farmers and scientists and universities and governments using our technology and getting results all over the world. Again, 52 countries, 48 governments that we're working with. We even added in a design of how you can prove. Oh, by the way, this scientific trial was done at Lovely University in India. Lovely University has been doing several trials with us, And we started trialing with Centurion University, and we have other universities that we're working with in India. So there's a lot of activity happening in India. Okay. The lovely university used our POPs trialing program. They used our system for trialing, which is what we want to teach farmers, because by using this system, we teach the farmer how to become more profitable. The POPs trial program is POP stands for Profitability Optimization Protocol for Sustainability. So we teach farmers how to become more profitable and more sustainable at the same time. And again, there's just case study after case study after case study. You know, it's endless. All over the world. And I go on and on and on. And you just learn about, all the details. So I'm going to stop sharing at this point, and I would like to answer questions. Does anyone have questions for me? Because it really is important that we interact and that I answer all your questions.
Actually, to let you know, sir, in the main participants are there in the Zoom meeting, and the rest of the audience is there connecting with us in the YouTube. The session is live on the YouTube.
Fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So, being that it's on YouTube, are there questions that come in through YouTube? Do we have questions for me to answer?
If I got any questions, I will forward to you, sir.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, good. So then, let me
So,
do
on
this.
the behalf of everyone, I just want to say a big thank you, sir. I think your words have been a fitting conclusion to this conference, and we are deeply grateful for the time and the effort you took to share your knowledge with us, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And we look forward for the collaborations with you, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. By the way, that is something you mentioned, the collaborations. I'm glad you mentioned that, because we have offered our technology. We actually offered $10 million worth of our technology to the new elect President Trump and the new administration, so that they can set up demonstration trials throughout all of the United States and see that this is the future for making America healthy again. And I started offering this technology for free to every country out there, so that they can make their own countries healthy again. And anyone that's listening from any other country that's connected with either the government of India or any other government in around the world that's listening, by all means contact us, because we are looking to give the technology to the government research centers for free, completely for free, in order for them to see, that the future of farming has arrived, and it should be utilized as quickly as possible to improve the environmental and farming conditions of every country. So that offer is out there.
No worries, sir. I'll circulate your mail among the participants also. So if they will want the connections, then they'll connect with you, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time and for allowing me again to present to Just Agriculture. I love your forum. I love, your group, and God bless.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Bye-bye.